guys, I hope you're having a great holiday time. I wanted to quickly come on this car share, which we haven't done in a while, to discuss insulin resistance. Okay, so what is insulin resistance? So insulin resistance is when the natural messages of your body to lower glucose levels by using insulin to do so, that hormone that is released by the pancreas, does no longer work. Your cells are not listening to that message. The normal physiological response is to see a raise in blood sugar, but within 2 hours the blood sugar does come down. In a person with insulin resistance, the issue is that when the pancreas releases the insulin and the insulin knocks at the door of the cell is not responding to that message, that they need to open the door for the glucose to go in. So the glucose stays into the blood, oftentimes due to being overweight and having too much fat into muscle cells. So the cells cannot open the door. The thing that can happen is that we become insulin resistant because of estrogen declining, which is why this conversation is particularly important for my ladies there that are into perimenopause all the way to postmenopause. You have to check if you have insulin resistance. So do that. We check our A1C, which is a marker that tells us the blood glucose average for 3 months, and we have to really pay attention to these things. Okay, we can check actually our insulin. If our insulin release from the pancreas is high, that means that we are actually in the realm of insulin resistance, because the pancreas needs to release more and more insulin into the blood to get that message heard by the cells. Normally you would need just a little bit and the doors are open, but if you become resistant, the body is smart and it's going to release more and more and more insulin to try and open that damn door. And it works for a while, but then after a while, that's when we get into diabetes, it stops working. So ladies, when estrogen goes down, insulin resistance becomes more prominent, and we want to know if we are there, because then we need to adjust our diet. Now you will hear a lot of people online talking about going on a ketogenic diet to make sure that we can reverse insulin resistance. I'm here to tell you that you're not going to reverse it with the ketogenic diet as such. You are going to remove the symptoms. You're going to remove the trigger, which is the starches, for example, the carbohydrates. But when you have them again, and if you say you have a sweet potato, whatever, you are going to see a massive rise in glucose levels into your blood, which then will just indicate that you're still, and maybe not coming down within a couple of hours. You want to become sensitive, meaning you want to see a spike. Spikes are normal, as I said, but then that spike will come down within 2 hours. But the other difference is, there is a difference between having a spike and seeing a raise and then down, and having something that goes shoot up and then down and you crash. You feel really exhausted and tired, you just need to take a nap. That's when your blood glucose is not balanced at all. It goes high up too quickly, down too quickly, and so your energy level will correspond to that. And this is where we work as practitioners with our clients to make sure that we can find something that is adaptable to them. So I personally love having good starches into my diet, and your carrots, your beetroots, your pumpkins, all these guys, and seeing my body works perfectly well with it. I actually just did my blood work, and A1C is perfect, and insulin is perfect and very low, which means my body is really functioning well, and I'm really grateful. Even if at the moment I'm still struggling with the hypothalamic amenorrhea, and I'm really trying to put on weight and a little bit of fat on my body so that I can start bleeding again, start cycling again, because I don't want to lose my estrogen. Because again, if we lose estrogen, our insulin resistance will go up, and also cardiovascular disease becomes a problem, and so on. I don't want to go into that right now, this conversation. I want to keep it focused on insulin resistance, but I wanted to mention that we have to pay attention to our blood work and do them so that we know what's going on. So don't just think that you can wing it. Moving our body. So when you eat, just try to have some movement after your meal. Go for a walk, clean the house, do something. Don't sit on your butt. Don't sit on your computer. Do something productive. That way you're really training your body to use the glucose that you just energy production. And then of course, as we talk about perimenopause to postmenopause, when it comes to exercise, lifting weights. Nothing beats lifting weights, not only because we want to build muscle to support our skeletal system and not get into osteopenia and osteoporosis, but we also want to make sure that we that we're using the glucose, that the cells utilize the glucose to make energy so that you can lift, and you can deplete your glycogen stores, because glycogen stores are a smart way for the body, the liver, to stock up on glucose levels so that when you need energy, it's there to be released. But if we have overproduction and over storage, then we create fat. When it comes to eating a proper diet, the carbs I'm talking about are not your cakes, your sweets, your crackers. I'm not talking about any of these processed foods. I'm talking about sweet potatoes, mango, potatoes, bananas, papaya, like these starches that raise a bit of glucose, but they're also amazing for you. They come with a lot of fiber, nutrients like your polyphenols, massive vitamins amount, and so on. And so we need them, and we should be really happy to have them. I am so grateful that nature has really packaged these things. Really, insulin resistance is something we need to pay attention to before it gets out of control. Because then what happens is that you go to your doctor and your insulin's too high, or your glucose is too high, A1C is too high, and they will put you on things like metformin instead of actually looking at the diet and lifestyle. That can just have a cascade of different issues. So let's avoid going there in the first place and really paying attention. You want to, again, see your doctor to check your blood work, very important, and then to follow up if anything is flagged. Because you cannot know what you don't know, but once you know, once you can keep track of it, it's really easy to not fall into a category where you're struggling with your health. I hope this was helpful, and I hope this was something that will make you think, because I want you to think for yourself. I want you to really pay attention to things, and for me it's really important to support you. And on that note, in January I am starting a little challenge, if you want to do it with me, which is a 1 week juice cleanse. In fact, 5 days juice cleanse. And I hate calling it cleanse, it's not really a cleanse, but like a reset, where we're just gonna have some amazing vegetables in juice form to give the digestive system a moment of break after the holidays, so that then we can start again eating amazingly. Now I know it's cold and juices might not seem incredibly appealing, but they can do us so much wellness and so much good. And one of the things that I will add on for people that are really struggling with the cold is obviously having some miso soup as well, which I think everybody anyway can have, with some mushrooms, because then you also get support for your gut, and it's warm and it works like a charm. So if you want to do it, just ping me. I will send you the details and we can do it together. And from February we are starting 2026 Inner Circle, which is an amazing 10 months program where you will get access to me 3 times a month for amazing knowledge that you will take with you for the rest of your life. And that I created because I really wanted to make sure that A, you know what to do with your health, B, you can level it up and you can feel better and show everybody what a powerful human being you are by just taking charge of your health through food and lifestyle. But most importantly, I want you to be able to go to your doctor, have a conversation with education in hand, and challenge them if they say something that doesn't resonate because you know it's not true. And I don't want you to do like, I heard this on a podcast, but actually with studies and science, because then you can be taken seriously, and that doctor maybe didn't know can even become a better doctor by educating themselves. If they don't, then you know that maybe you need to look for another practitioner, but at the very least you're not getting gaslit by a doctor that says it's all in your head. That is always something that makes me very angry, and I don't appreciate it, and I wouldn't want anyone to go through it. So guys, that's, if you want to know more, please check below into the notes, but also get in touch with me